So there's a story about this Rokon that I didn't tell you in the first episode. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know a lot of it myself. But what I'm gonna explain to you right now is why this is not just any bike. Actually, it's not even considered a bike at all. It's actually registered as a tractor, but it's not just any bike. It's actually one of the most epic builds ever. Now, Matt and Ed are actually in Pennsylvania right now, and they're en route to the shop right now.
Now we're headed on to the next adventure in Pennsylvania.
Hopefully they make it here because classic Pennsylvania weather. Matt, if you get stuck, we will recover you. So I don't know the entire story. Matt's gonna fill us in on that. But here's the part that I do know. Now imagine this, you're about my age. Actually, you're exactly my age. You're 36 years old, and you're out, you're doing your job, you got a family, you're trying to raise kids, you have a lot of things going on, you're doing your job, and your 3-year-old Toyota 4Runner gets trapped in a landslide in California. You have a lot of money, you have a lot of things invested in that vehicle. You can't access it, it's gone, it's just gone. It doesn't make sense to monetarily go and get that vehicle. Well, that's exactly what happened to Ed. In 1975, Ed was a prospector in the California, Nevada Sierra Mountains. And he had a 3-year-old Suzuki LJ20 that they got trapped in a landslide. And they were never able to recover it. That's what happened to Ed. And Matt and his team spent a ridiculous amount of energy, time, and money to extract this thing. And if you haven't seen the video, it's one of the most insane rescues I've ever seen, where they not only found it, that was a significantly hard task just to find the vehicle. They had to hike there because no vehicles could get there at the time, and then they transported their vehicles thousands of miles to get there. They drug this thing out of the mountains. You guys got to go check it out. And currently there's a bunch of different YouTube channels. You got Fab Rats, you got Robbie Layton, you got a bunch of different YouTube channels that are all collaborating together to put this thing back together just for Ed. But the crazy thing is, Ed doesn't know it because he doesn't watch YouTube. Ed is on YouTube more than he watches YouTube because he doesn't watch any YouTube at all. So they're about to show up. I really respect Ed. I think he's a really, really cool and interesting guy. And I'm looking around the shop and there's no place for him to sit. So we went out and got that cool little chair. I was like, you know what, that's appropriate. For a guy like Ed, he needs a nice, comfortable chair to sit in. I really hope he likes it. Matt and Ed are gonna be here in a little bit, but first, we got one thing we gotta do. This is the only way, man.
That's the only way. That's the only way I'm gonna get Matt to like me.
You gotta do it.
Oh, fine.
It's gonna work. It's gonna be all right. Perfect. Ed, how's it going?
Hi there.
How you doing? Matt, what's happening?
Sean?
Hey.
What's the weather report?
A little bit of snow, not bad. It's not too cold.
No, it's not that bad.
We'll get through it.
Ed, you ever seen one of these? This is they had an old one. They had the Trail 90 back in the 60s and 70s, but this is a 2021 Trail 125.
So this is like the new one of the one that you had.
Yeah. There it is. See.
There's your bike.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of questions for you in a little bit. Actually,
Awesome.
take a whiff of those new tires.
Yep. Gonna put some new tires on it.
Not quite as wide, but I guess they'd be.
Well, once
They air up, they do.
Oh,
Yeah, once they open
size.
up.
Same size.
It's the same size, but those were,
Some new old stock.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
What's interesting about it is actually the chain touches the tire everywhere. There's no clearance right there,
Oh yeah.
and that's the front tire also.
The clearance there is tight.
Oh.
That's how you wipe the mud off the side of the tire.
Right.
Yeah, that front miter box was leaking. You got the carburetors.
Yeah, we got the carbs. We got rebuild kits for both miter boxes. Actually, Greg will show you what's going on.
We started getting everything cleaned up. Now this still needs to come apart and get rebuilt.
Pretty simple bike. to
Come look
work
at this,
on.
Ed.
Yeah, very simple.
We started getting everything cleaned up for you, Ed. I think we're gonna, now this still needs to come apart, but I think we're gonna rebuild this and use the original carburetor on it.
Oh yeah. This the old one? Mm-hmm. I might have lost the spring that goes on the.
Oh, on the needle? Yep.
Yeah.
I got you.
There's your cylinder.
Really? That's a Chrysler engine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call them 9-port cylinders.
What's normal?
How'd the motor look? Is it
It looks really good.
pretty good?
Yeah. Yep, I'll clean the bore up there a hair. But yeah, everything else looks really good.
I didn't think I had many hours on it, but that aluminum?
Yeah. Yeah, lightweight. You got to float it across the river, Ed.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna put pontoons on it and then go across the lake. I don't know how we're going to float it yet, but
PVC pontoons.
a couple jugs or pontoons, something, you know.
While Craig was showing Ed his old bike, I pulled Matt aside to find out the big story of the Nugget and the
But
Rokon.
it maybe it wasn't hooked up. Maybe it needed a battery. Is that why?
Yeah, so this is the lighting coil.
It has a generator?
Yep,
or-
right here. Now I gotta get a new bearing there,
Yeah,
but
it might
so-
have worked.
All right, so I filled you guys in on a little bit of what's going on. Matt's got the full story.
So Ed has done a lot of things. Like, he hasn't taken a minute off in the last 80 years. So he's got this claim in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and he's been working it with his family for years. And one of their friends has a cabin there, and there's an old ditch that they cleared out so they could drive in there, and they could drive all the way to the cabin, and that's how they were working that. But so he bought this Suzuki Jimny, and he bought it in Hurricane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's made a complete circle now.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he bought it in Hurricane, had bought it brand new, took it out and laid it on its side on the freeway, or the highway, I guess.
Oh, that's why the side was all messed up.
Yep. So they slid it down the road on its side, sold it to Ed for $200 or some little amount.
Oh, so I was thinking this was like his brand new 3-year-old.
No.
Okay.
So he bought it. He's like, oh, this would be perfect for driving back and forth in there. So he picked it up, put the plywood side door on it and the sheet metal and all that.
How do you clean it up so good?
we got this vapor honed. So it's like a sandblaster, but it uses liquid slurry instead.
I went down a real steep hill one night at midnight with just a flashlight with a case of dynamite on it. I've crashed on it a number of times. It never hurts to buy.
So what happened is the LJ20 was left there. They winterized it and they left it there to come back the next spring to do their work. And then that winter, a big rock slide, and it's a big rock slide. It 200 or 300 yards.
Wow.
And just wiped out their road entirely. And from that point, they never got a motorized vehicle back to the cabin, not from that side of the river. So, and to him, it wasn't worth getting it out. He just started using this Rokon. And they actually drove the Rokon on the bank.
That road that you guys were driving on.
Yeah, so we drove down inside it. That used to be clear up on the bank, and he would ride the Rokon on that bank.
It'd be perfect for the Rokon.
Yep. And they would just haul their stuff in and out that way. When he saw one, and he told me, he says, I've got one of those. And I'm like, oh, where is it? He's like, it doesn't matter. We can't get it anyway. And that was like, let's go get it.
What do you mean you can't get it?
The only bad thing I ever found about this is just the one front wheel brake. So the new ones have rear.
Yeah.
Because you go down the hill and hit the brake,
It took some work because there's multiple private properties that were involved, passing through and working on. And there's the other prospectors with their gold claims, and they don't know who we are.
Right.
But they do know Ed, and they trust Ed. And when finally I was able to come to an agreement with Ed that, like, yeah, we can get this. And Ed, now it sounds like a good idea for Ed. Like, we'll go camping, we'll check out your claim, you can show us around. And he's like, okay. So he got some of his other mining buddies involved, and we met with them, and they kind of gave us the okay. And the stipulation was from the property owners and the prospectors is they didn't want any equipment in there. No mini excavator.
Oh.
They didn't want us doing any blasting or any of the things that would have made it easier for us. They didn't want
I
us
was
to do.
wondering. I'm like, why don't they just bring a little bobcat or something down there just to clear the way or something?
It would have been great. And we ended up going down there with the banana and making it work.
asked him if he's okay and went on over the hill. They disqualified it. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we have to figure out a little bit, like the wheels. We just want to get everything cleaned up good for you. So I'll pull those boxes and get them nice and clean. I don't know if you want any of the stuff painted or if you want to leave it raw aluminum.
I guess the aluminum was the way it was.
Okay.
So we're in a terrible position because Ed does ask Paul what's going on with it and ask me because we just told Ed we were going to get it running. and we didn't go into any details. So he knows we're trying to get it running, and he's trying to help us find like extra engines and extra parts because he used to have parts. And he told us that he never drove it in and out without having to stop and clean the spark plugs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a 2-stroke engine that it came with originally, a little 2-cylinder, 2-stroke, air-cooled.
So there's multiple channels putting this thing together. Ed has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he doesn't, and he knows everybody's busy, but he's still like, do you know if Paul's got that running or not? And it's kind of hard because we're like lying through our teeth to Ed.
Right, and every time you tell him something that he doesn't want to hear, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and I mean, that brings us to where we are now. Like, why am I even here? He's got this Rokon, he's got the LJ20. They're all from his previous mining days. Everybody thinks it's a good idea to put these back together and present them to him. So
What are these?
Oh yeah, I have some new ones to put on there too.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, it's gonna get new grips. Did you ever put water or anything in the wheels?
You can put water or gas.
Yeah, did you ever do it?
I've never done it. I just leave them like that so I can go across the river.
And this is cracked. I need to weld this a little bit, the boss for the bearing.
Really?
See, it's a
Cracked?
little crack right there.
I've seen going across the lake.
He doesn't know about the LJ20. He doesn't know about that all that's going on there, all the YouTubers jumping in, helping him out. The Rokon, he does know about. So that's the distraction.
this is a really good distraction.
This is the sleight of hand.
Yeah.
He wants to know about this. Let me show you all about this.
Tom is coming down to help Lizzie put a trailer together too. So we'll have the LJ20, a trailer like custom specifically made for the Rokon, and he'll have this complete package that he can show off and
That's cool.
and just have. On the video, there's a really steep hill getting down to the river, and I guess he got about halfway down that. It started going over, and I think he said that's when he had a bunch of dynamite on there.
I bought it for $150 with an extra motor, frame, and fenders. And I had it 2 years, and I sold it for $200 and without the extras. And I told him, you got to keep the bolts all tight every week, every 2 weeks, you know. He didn't do it. He come back and bought the motor and frame and fenders for another $200.
Ed, I got that chair just for you in case you wanted to sit down and take a load off, but it looks like you're all right though. What's the story behind the Rokon?
Well, I got it before the Suzuki so I could get into my mine. I used it for 3-4 years, and then when I got the trail built, my mining partner and I built a road to his cabin through my claim, and then I didn't need this. I could get the Suzuki and drive it because it's just wide enough to get the Suzuki through. He had a military Jeep that was narrow. When Matt come over and got it out, we built more road.
So when you put 800 pounds on it?
Yeah.
Where?
Front and rear racks and dragging a bunch of cable, and I've had 5 people on it, you know, standing up, get a picture, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping we can get this thing running by the time you got here, but we got something else. If you just hold on for a second.
Oh, you got one. You got one. I didn't know you had one.
I went and bought one yesterday.
Is that front wheel drive?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's Rokon. It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's a newer version of what you got.
What year is it?
The guy told me it was a 2003.
2003.
This automatic.
I've never drove it.
3-speed.
I just got it. I don't know anything about it.
We got this in case we forgot how that one went together.
I like the boxes on it. I might put them on mine.
Yeah. If you want, we can get some boxes for you and
Yeah.
try to work that up.
It might even be heavier than mine.
It is. It's not too heavy, but it's.
Yours is really light. Matt, you got the beard, but you need the bike.
Yeah, no
You want to take
kidding.
this thing for a spin?
Heck yeah.
So what do you think of when you're riding it? What do you
I
think?
haven't ridden it yet.
Oh, you
I was waiting
haven't?
for you. You show me how to do it. The cool thing about yours is yours has a pull start and kick start. This one only has pull.
And then key over here.
Oh, it's electric
Oh,
start.
it does have electric start.
I better get out of the way.
You can drive in that grass if you want. You ever drive yours in snow?
No.
No?
Well, I don't think so. I don't recall it.
You want to take a first spin?
Hey, say hi.
You want to drive it?
Oh, you're taking me for a ride?
I might need one of these. I definitely need one of these. I just realized.
That thing's pretty cool.
I think it's gonna take some practice to look graceful turning at slow speed because you got the front wheel, the back wheel fighting.
I bet that feels weird.
That's so I started learning that's what that compensator spring is. So in the frame of that bike there's like a coil spring, and it'll ratchet and it'll click off, so you get that slip.
It might shake you, but it ain't gonna throw you. Well, who wants to ride it?
Oh yeah, there's a nice waterway that runs down across there to the retention pond.
But that don't have a low gear though, does it?
It does. I don't know what gear it's in right now. I don't know how to shift it yet.
Yeah, try to climb that tree there. There he goes.
What do you think of that? You could ride it through Mac's ditch.
Gotta find low gear though.
Here you go, Matt. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're neat.
Yeah, they're cool.
Bounce it up and do a wheelie.
A lot of times these guys from the earlier generations get forgotten in our society, but we need to remember that they were just like us once. And in the case of Ed, he's still young at heart. The Bible makes it very clear that we are to respect our elders, but not just for their benefit, because the blessing of wisdom and friendship that we can gain from the older generations is priceless. Job 12:12 says, "Wisdom is with the aged, and understanding in the length of days."
Yeah, that's neat.
Well, you won't go anywhere fast, but you'll go anywhere.
Broom, we can brush it off, or always going in the back way. Eh?
That thing is incredible.
How was it?
Nice. No, I don't like it as good as mine now.
Well, cool. Thanks for stopping by, Ed, Matt. Good seeing you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you.
And hopefully the next time you see this, it'll be up and running and looking nice.
There's a lot different riding in that though. You'll have to try it out.
I'll definitely try it out. Well, all right, guys, that wraps up the video. Next time you see this, probably either finish taking it apart, but then hopefully putting it back together. So we'll see you guys later.
We got some. Oh, nice.
Yellow banana.
And this will match the one you have.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Do I have too many colors?